Alright, so I'm up here inspecting the crack. I scored it with the razor blade inside and I was able to catch the lath here. I screwed a hole here and here to inject some glue, and it's not terribly bad, but you can see if I push up there is some movement there. See that? I don't know, like 1/8 of an inch movement, I guess. This side is a little bit lower, just a little bit. I'm not gonna take chances. And what I'm using is a masonry bit. I think it's 3/16. Okay, and that doesn't allow it to go through the wood lath, so it'll go through the plaster, but then when it hits the lath, it stops. Let's see if I could do another one about right here. All right, looks like I hit lath. All right. See? So that's what you want. If you don't hit the lath, it's okay. Just put an X on it and don't put glue in there. So I'm gonna do this crack, because this looks like the biggest crack in the wall. All the other ones look like just kind of like small hairline cracks. A couple other little ones that I might do this too, but for the majority, this is probably the worst one in the ceiling so far. All right, so I finished drilling my holes, and I just did this crack right here pretty much, and a couple other ones. As you can see, I still got a crack going this way, so I got to still drill that crack, and a couple, one right down here in the middle too. But as far as this crack goes, that one's all done. Okay. So next I'm gonna vacuum all those holes out, get all the debris out. All right, so I'm gonna use just warm water in a bottle to condition this. You know, that's all I'm going to use. And this glue that I'm using, it's also sticks to moisture and water and stuff. It says on it on the bottle. So, all right, guys, for the cracks for my lath and plaster, I'm going to be drilling it and using this to glue into the holes that I drill onto the lath board. And this is the only one I could find at the local Home Depot that actually says that it works on plaster, wood and plaster. So I'm gonna go and do that to every hole. All right, so I finished injecting all the adhesive in the holes I did. I had a couple of washers in the crack. What I found out works better, at least for me in my situation, is just to get the sheetrock screws and just go right into the hole that I put the glue in, and just go down a little bit, you know, a little bit lower, and that seemed to lift it up better. Just be careful, because this stuff is crumbly if you do it that way. If you pre-drill this plaster, it doesn't crumble so bad. So you could even countersink the hole if you wanted to, if you're worried about it, because it can crack it still, even though if you pre-drill it, still can crack it. Like right here, see that? How it kind of chips up the plaster. If you countersink the hole so it can go down, so it's level, so you don't have to put a lot of compounds over it. All right, guys. So after gluing these holes, I pretty much put screws, 1¼ inch sheetrock screws, in most of them. Some of them weren't catching into the lath too good, so I didn't do them. Put them in, but it's working. I can push on it now. You don't see any movement when I push on this. So this system works for me. I don't know if you guys watch this video and think it'll work for you. It might, because like I said, I've tested it. It's working for me. And you can see there's a really bad crack here. There's no movement in it. And that's because I got screws on both sides. Yeah, the glue's there too, so the glue's going to be doing its part, but just to be on the safe side. And this seems to be working, huh? You know, so many different people on YouTube, online, saying different things, but sometimes you just gotta do what works for you and trial and error and do it yourself. And this is working for me, so that's the way I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go and skim coat this, fill in the crack with some joint compound, and then I'm gonna put some mesh tape over the crack too, and then go over it with some more compound. Alright, I glued up this section over here now, drilled it and put some glue in there, or adhesive. And then I want to put some screws in. This is what I do. I just, when the glue is still wet, just go and insert it. And don't have it too much force on it. I got it barely on like 3 setting for the drill. If you over tighten it, it's gonna just suck in the screw real far in, and then it's gonna have no effect on holding the wall up. So, but that's it. That's about it. And you can see I again used the countersink, so I don't have to worry about it not going in far enough because I already got a countersink for that screw, and that helps keep it from breaking up the plaster too. All right, finished up another crack. This one's quite big. See, I went and scored it with a knife, and then it was not real loose, but you could tell one was high and one was low. And once I screwed in all the screws, it's nice and tight. Look at that, no movement in it. So this is definitely working. Okay, and then also I had a hairline crack here, which I don't think you really need to score it too much because it's just a hairline. So what I did was I just put some fiber mesh tape over that hairline, okay, everywhere that there was the hairline. And for this bigger crack, I think I'm just going to put the joint compound inside before I put the mesh tape on, because I have a feeling if you put the mesh tape on first, very little compound's going to go through the little holes. See what I'm saying? And then it's not going to get all up in the crack. So I'll fill up the major cracks first with the compound, and then afterwards I'll put the mesh over that once it dries, and I'll sand it, and I'll put the mesh tape on, and then I'll go over it one more time to cover up the mesh tape. Same thing with this. I had some hairline cracks over here. Instead of just going over it with some joint compound, I want to give it some reinforcement, and so that's why I put down the tape. Easy Sand 90 is what I used for a joint compound. I did do the hairlines with some fiberglass mesh tape over there. Here, there's no tape on it. I just went over it because I wanted to fill it before I put the tape and go over it again. That'll be the second coat that I do. And then I had enough mud, as they call it, to come over here and do this crack too. And I put a couple pieces of tape there. So that one's all done. It just needs probably a skim coat. So anyways, that's how it looks. It's my first time ever fixing not sheetrock, but plaster. So I'm learning as I go. And I'm watching a lot of videos, seeing how everybody does stuff. And nobody does anything the same way. Everybody's got their own style, their own method, their own steps to doing this. So I don't know if this is the right steps, but this is what I'm doing, and hopefully it works. It seems like the plaster, at least screwing it on the way I did, kept it from moving. I didn't feel any movement after I did that, but we'll see. We'll see if it, in the long run, how long that will last. And I got it on video now, so I can go back if I ever forget what I did and look at it and go, okay, that's what I did, and that worked or it didn't work. I still got a couple big cracks. There's a huge one right here going right there. That one's probably going to need to be screwed down as well and glued. And same with this one. This got a huge crack that runs all the way across. That's probably a foundation settlement crack, because it goes all the way across. So that's going to have to be screwed on and glued the way I did the other side. I'll just continue doing this side as well. I filled in this crack here, but I didn't put any mesh tape on it. So what I did was I sanded it, and now I put a mesh tape over it. So now I'm going to go with my second coat over that crack. Alright, so it's starting to look a little bit like Frankenstein's skin. I mean, you can see how many screws I put in on the crack. Alright, so I was just going to do the ceiling in here, but because the wallpaper here wasn't too bad, but I couldn't help myself. There was a few bubbles in it, and I just started scraping away, and before I knew it, one little bubble was scraping everywhere, and then before I knew it, all was everywhere, and almost done. So, yeah. Adhesive is still here, so I'll just spray this with water and scrape it off. I was gonna go and buy that. Home Depot has a steamer that takes off wallpaper. I might still buy it because I still got all that wall there to do. Alright, so here's the end result after putting hot mud up there a couple times, using an 8-inch trowel and then a 12-inch trowel. And when I went to the 12-inch trowel, instead of using hot mud, I got all-purpose, USG all-purpose joint compound. This is pre-mixed in in the bucket, and that stuff is better to use because it's pre-mixed and it's what you want to top coat over the hot mud and stuff. From what I hear, and from what I've seen even, is when you go over it, you think it's just a hairline crack and you go over it. That crack tends to go through your compounds all the way to the surface, and then you'll see the small crack again. So that hopefully by gouging it out, that will keep that from happening. Hopefully, but we'll see. I'll be able to look at this video years from now and go, that method worked or that method didn't work, because by that time we'll see the cracks come back or not. So yeah, I got some cracks over there. This one I had a crack too, so I'm gonna have to peel that one off too. There's a big crack, hairline crack going there, and one over there. But that's where I'm at. So the ceiling's pretty much almost done. Here I had a plumbing issue, that's why it's cut out. I'll have to put sheetrock in there to fill it later. But that's how it came out, and that's a wrap for this video. That's the work that I did just for the ceiling, and believe me, that's a good week's work right there, just on the ceiling itself. One day I worked on this for a good 13 hours in this room, sanding and ripping the wallpaper off. Hopefully this room will look nice in the end when I'm done.